Hello, hi everyone. I'm Bernadette Marie, the entertainment reporter here for Forever Classic 6IX. I'm joined today by world-class performer who has taken his powerhouse vocals from the iconic Beale Street in Memphis all the way to the MCG. He's trained with the best in the world and now he's bringing the magic to us. Please welcome the incredible Glenn Starr.
Oh, hi, Bernadette Marie. How are you?
I'm very good, very excited to be talking to you. You're absolutely taking over Mandurah this weekend with two massive productions at Mandurah Performing Arts Centre. We've got the Hitmakers this Saturday night and the Kings of Motown on Sunday afternoon. Welcome to the chat. Let's hear a little bit about your shows. Let's start with Saturday night.
All right, Saturday night, you're in for a treat. I mean, if you love some of the biggest artists from the 50s and 60s, then this is the show. I mean, we're paying tribute to Gene Pitney, Neil Sedaka, Paul Anka, and Roy Orbison. They don't really come much bigger than that when you think of 60s artists.
I love all those artists. I can even hear in your speaking voice that could be a little bit of Paul Anka, Gene Pitney kind of, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah, you know what? From a very young age, I actually got compared a lot to Neil Sedaka. I didn't actually hear it. My influences growing up, my dad is a massive Gene Pitney fan. Whether I liked Gene Pitney or not, I was going to end up being influenced by him. And so I guess I have some traits of Gene Pitney in my voice. I guess it's just a natural thing. But I think because I'm a lover of so much different music, and I'm one of those people that like to perfect the artist that I'm working with
Yeah.
or I'm trying to cover. I don't intentionally do it, but I end up sounding like that artist for some unknown reason. I just have this
Yeah.
ability to adapt my voice, and I guess if I'm trying to come up with my own identity, it doesn't work. But when you're doing a tribute show and you're trying to replicate these artists as best as you possibly can, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, so if you're an actor, we'd probably say you were like a method actor. You
Yeah,
get
I guess
right
so.
into it. Yeah.
Exactly.
How do
Exactly.
you narrow down which icons and anthems make the final cut for the hit makers?
Now, that's a good question because I mean, every single artist had incredible songs. And I guess you've got to start at the top and work out, okay, what were their biggest songs? What were the songs that really connected with people? And as well, what are the songs that you enjoy performing? Um,
Yeah.
and so, when you're talking people like Gene Pitney, I mean, 24 Hours from Tulsa,
Oh,
Town Without Pity, It Hurts to Be in Love, they have to be in there. I mean, they're staples. But when I think of my favorite songs of Gene Pitney, I absolutely love Trans Canada Highway. Which is a song that he released later on in his career in the 70s, and also True Love Never Runs Smooth. I think that's a beautiful song. We're talking Neil Sedaka. I've always been a fan of Calendar Girl since I was a kid.
oh,
But then you've got to have Happy Birthday, Sweet 16. You've got to
yes.
have Oh Carol. And then we also put in a song that he wrote for Tony Christie, The Way to Amarillo, which is such a fun song. And then Paul Anka again. You've got to look at, well, you can't go past My Way. I mean, it was written for the greatest voice ever, the chairman of the board, Mr. Frank Sinatra. But then we also do things, a song that he wrote for Buddy Holly, It Doesn't Matter Anymore. And then Diana and Lonely
Oh,
Boy and Put Your Head on My Shoulder, which of course has had a
oh,
massive resurgent with the
on
whole
TikTok.
TikTok trend. Yeah.
Yeah,
So they're fun
amazing.
songs. And then Roy Orbison, I mean, then you've got this massive catalogue. Where do you go with Roy Orbison? Well, you got to have Pretty Woman, you got to have Crying, you've got to have In Dreams. One of my favorites from Roy Orbison is Penny Arcade. I think that's such a fun song to sing.
Oh.
So I think there's something in there for everybody this weekend. And whether you're a fan of just Gene Pitney's or you're a fan of Roy Orbison, even there's songs that you're going to know. As soon as you hear that opening chord or that opening line, you're going to be singing along and enjoying the entire show.
Oh, I love that song In Dreams. And because you hear the Pretty Woman and you hear all that
Yeah.
countless times, but In Dreams is just like, oh, it's such a magical song. I love it. But on Sunday, we're going to switch gears entirely for the Kings of Motown. So, how do you mentally and physically prepare to shift from the 50s and 60s classics to the soul and groove of the artists like Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, like in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, ask me that on Monday morning. I haven't
How
done
did you
those two
go?
shows back to back yet. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
Yeah.
look, I mean, I love Motown. I've been to Motown in Detroit. In fact, I did a trip to the US and I took a side flight just to go to Detroit, and I nearly missed that flight. So, just being around and learning that music, and then the songs are just incredible, and some of the greatest vocalists of all time, like Smokey Robinson. I mean, what an incredible voice. And then you've got that that suave, that sex appeal of Mr. Marvin Gaye. And then Stevie Wonder. I mean, who doesn't love Stevie Wonder? And then what songs from Stevie Wonder are you going to choose? um Lionel
Can you
Richie,
tell
and
me,
then my favorite.
do you do Overjoyed by Stevie Wonder?
It's one of my favorite songs,
Oh,
but it's not actually in the show. We do Sir Duke, because we've got a seven-piece
yes.
band with this show.
Oh,
So we've got great horn section from Perth, but most of bringing all the band over from Melbourne, but we're going to use a horn section from Perth. And so just hearing those songs with this full live band, we're going to recreate that Motown sound live on stage. So we're like Stevie Wonder, Sir Duke,
yeah.
Superstition, I Wish. And then, I mean, when you talk about one of Stevie's biggest hits out of the 80s, I Just Called to Say I Love You. I
Yeah.
think that was really my first introduction to Stevie Wonder, which is probably why I've thrown that into the show. And then I saw Lionel Richie in concert years ago when he was touring with John Farnham. I don't know whether you saw that concert or not.
Oh, I
Um,
know.
it was such a great show. And Lionel Richie, who I was kind of sitting there thinking, he sings ballads, like, this is going to be boring. Um, and up against John Farnham as well. Like, John Farnham opened up the show and blew everyone away. And I thought, well, where do you go next? And
Yeah.
Lionel Richie, like, into my surprise, just completely had the audience eating out of his head. Was right up there with Farnham. And I walked away going, wow, that was incredible. But, when you talk of Lionel Richie songs, All Night Long, we're going to be doing Stuck on You, which is one of my favorite songs. Hello, you've got to do
Hello.
Hello. And then, of course, from the Commodores, Easy. And then I've got to
Oh,
get to my favorite artist of all time, and that's Michael Jackson. So,
oh yes. Yes. Brilliant. He's brilliant.
yeah.
And of course, good timing with the movie Michael coming up as well.
Exactly. I don't know about you, but I'm itching to see that. I've got my tickets to go and see it at IMAX next week.
Yep, I'm
Just
seeing it
on a
next
Thursday
week.
afternoon. No one's gonna stop me from seeing that. So Michael Jackson, we're going to start from the Jackson Five. We've got a great medley of the Jackson Five, and then I know Michael left Motown in the early '70s, but where they're going to then move through to the stuff that he did with CBS with the Jacksons, Shake Your Body. And then we're going to do that moment in television history when he was on Motown 25 and showed us the moonwalk and everything for the very first
Yeah.
time when he performed Billie Jean. So we're going to do Billie Jean, and we're going to have visuals up on the screen, and we're going to relive that moment. We're going to have a lot of fun. And then my favorite Michael Jackson song of all time is Man in the Mirror. And so that's in the show as well.
Oh, that is fantastic. Now, your shows are incredibly like interactive. I saw that you let the audience choose like between Elton and Billy Joel. So how much is the Mandurah crowd going to influence the direction of your performance on the night?
Um, yeah, look, we're going to have to stick to a format for this one, just because of I don't want to get the musos offside. But we'll
Yes.
definitely have a lot of fun. We're not just going to be doing the Kings of Motown, because obviously Motown was so much more. But you can't go past Diana Ross and the Supremes and Martha and the Vandellas. So we're going to pay tribute to them as well, and we're going to have a really good sing along with
Yeah.
My Guy. So Mary Wells, My Guy. So we're going to have the lyrics up on the screen, and we're going to get the audience to sing
Oh,
along. We're going to have a lot of fun with that.
oh,
Um, yeah,
that's
and
actually
then
so good. Yeah.
and then we're going to pay tribute to, obviously, the boy groups, the Temptations and the Four Tops. We've got a great medley with that as well. So we'll focus on
That's
those
good.
five artists, but we'll still bring in some, some of the core Motown stuff as well. And of course, Motown would have not happened without Berry Gordy writing for people like Jackie Wilson. And so we're going to be doing Reet Petite, which is always a fun song.
Okay, excellent. Also, while you're going to be in WA, do you
Yeah.
have any favourite spots you like to visit here in Perth?
We were up there earlier this year with my Buble show, and we went to the Pinnacles. My wife and I went
Oh,
there. That was incredible. It was actually
wow.
our trumpet player that suggested to go there. And we had a hire car, so we thought, why not? We're going to spend some time, and we went up to the Pinnacles, and that was incredible. But I haven't really spent a lot of time in Perth, and this is going to be a very, very quick trip, actually. Like, we're flying in on Saturday, and we're flying out on the red eye on Sunday, because
Oh,
we've got other appointments back in Melbourne. So sadly, not going to see much, but definitely on the next trip, we're going to be down for a few weeks. So sorry, a few days. So that'll give us time to look around and enjoy. But I love coming over to WA. We've been over a few times now, and it's great to see the country, different parts of the
yeah.
country. And when we were down last year, I got to go down to Albany and see the Gap and all the incredible
Oh,
landscape down there, and the road trip from Perth down to Albany. That's such a. I love sitting in the car. We just had an absolute ball. Doing our own carpool karaoke, actually, me and the boys.
yes.
And some of the songs that we pulled out were pretty crazy. We were doing things like Boys to Men and
Oh,
Anastasia, Left Outside Alone, and Taylor Dane, I'll Be Your Shelter. And, it was a lot of fun.
now that would be good doing carpool karaoke with you. That
it,
would be fun.
it, it's you never know what's going to get pulled out. I got to say.
Exactly, you can do anything. Now, Glenn, I know the fans are going to be lining up for these shows. So thanks to Forever Classic 6IX, I actually have two tickets to give away for each of your shows this weekend. So for the listeners, we want to get them involved. They need to send us a message and tell us what their favourite artist or song is that they'd love to hear you perform this weekend. Is it going to be a little bit of Neil Sedaka, or is it going to be some Motown artist? So please let us know, message us to win. Now, you often joke about Twinkle Twinkle Little Star being your first performance. Looking back, did you ever imagine you'd be performing these massive global anthems on world-class stages?
You know what? I grew up in Albury Wodonga, which is a border town, New South Wales and Victoria. I grew up in a little town called Howlong, and I know all the jokes about Howlong. And I thought, for me, it was like if I could actually just get and play in the main club in Albury, I would have. I thought I'd made it. So, when I first stepped on a big stage, even on cruise ships, like that just blew me away that I had gotten that far in my career. And now I'm getting to perform on some of these amazing stages that these legends that I'm covering have performed on.
Wow.
On the weekend we did a stage where Gene Pitney did one of his last concerts, which was just mind blowing for me.
Yeah.
Um, those opportunities are just incredible. That Twinkle Twinkle Little Star was actually not the first song. I know you've obviously seen the video online that I posted. It was
You're
actually the
right.
greatest American hero
Was
from
it?
yeah, yeah. I was in school. I was in primary school and kindergarten, and my teacher wanted us all to record our voices to hear what our voices sounded like, and
Yeah.
so everyone else was singing like all the nursery rhyme classics, and we were doing it in alphabetical order. And I thought, well, this is even at the age of 4 or 5, I thought this is my time to shine. And my
Yeah. Go.
favorite song at the time was The Greatest American Hero, the theme from The Greatest American Hero. So I sang the full 3.5 minutes and took up a lot of the tape.
Oh my gosh. That is very
Yeah.
brave.
Yeah, especially at 5 years old. So that was
Yes.
actually the first song I ever performed in public in front of people. Yeah, so
Wow.
no, it wasn't Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I kind
Oh.
of joked that that's my first song, but it was a little bit more sophisticated actually.
Wow, very, very well done. And also, you've got a fantastic stage presence and some amazing sparkle in your wardrobe as well. So, how important is the, I'm all about the sparkle. How important
Yeah.
is the visual glam of the show in helping you to step into the shoes of these legendary icons?
Yeah, it's tough one to work out what you're going to wear on stage. I think glitz and glamour is obviously showbiz. And
Yeah.
so one day when I was in Singapore, actually on a ship, I walked into a Zara store and saw this sparkly silver jacket. I went, yeah, look, that'll be perfect. But I mean, even that classic black suit that Gene Pitney wore, and that all the the crooners seem to wear, even when you look at Buble these days, it's still that classic look, isn't it? The black suit
Yeah.
with the thin black tie or the bow tie. So we'd go with that. When I'm doing the Gene Pitney. Neil Sedaka obviously wore different kinds of clothing, different jackets and cardigans and things like that. Paul Anka's always done the suit as well. Roy
Yeah.
Orbison had his look.
And it
And you got
helps
to
you
just
get
go,
into character, doesn't it?
yeah. But you've got to find it, because you don't want to be changing throughout, because we like to get the show rolling. You just got to find a look that kind of suits across all of them.
Yeah.
And so I might just have a couple of jacket changes, but that's kind of it. The same with the Motown as well. We'll go for
Yeah.
that kind of classic grey
Yeah.
suited look that the artists like the Temptations and Four Tops wore, and then
Yeah.
move into something a bit more 70s vibe for the second half of the show, and we move into Stevie Wonder and Lionel Richie and things like that. So I'm giving away all the
Exactly.
little secrets. I better not do that.
I
So
know, not
I want
too
people to come to
much.
the show.
Exactly. And look, just lastly, is there one particular song in the set that never fails to give you goosebumps, or like where you feel the strongest connection to the audience?
Ooh,
It's a trick.
that's
It's
a
like
good
picking your favorite
question. That
child.
is yeah, it is. The song at the moment that I'm really loving, and it's because it's got a bit of a special moment in it, which I'm not going to give away,
Oh.
is Gene Pitney's "Something's Got a Hold of My Heart."
Oh.
The song
No.
is such a beautiful song. We do the original version, not the version that he did with Mark Almond, which
Hmm.
was later on in the 80s. The original version came out in 66, I think it was.
Wow.
And so we do that song with a very special guest. That's all I will say.
Oh my goodness.
But
Okay,
they may
there's
or but they
something.
may or may not be on stage.
Okay, even more interesting. Very good. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. We can't wait to see you bring the nostalgia and energy to Mandurah for this double header. Don't forget to give everyone your Instagram handle so they can follow along as well. So let us know your Instagram handle for everyone.
I think I don't
I
use
know.
Instagram a lot.
I can help
I
you.
think is it Glenn Star? Is it Glenn underscore
You
Star?
know, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's at Glenn, GLENN. We've got to make sure that double N underscore
Yep.
star with a double R at the end.
Yeah. My friends
That's
my
your
friends say that I come with my own reverb with the double N and double R.
Yes, that's right. You know, and it sets you apart. Well,
Yeah,
these shows are
exactly.
proudly supported by Forever Classic 6IX. I'm Bernadette Marie, and we're going to see you guys at the theatre.